What you're seeing here is the beginning of a fascinating conversation, one that demonstrates how artificial intelligence has evolved from a science fiction concept to a practical coaching tool right in our browsers. You'll notice the simple, almost humble request at the top. I want you to be my coach and guide me step by step through a project I want to do. I want to create a well-researched presentation about the responsible use of AI tools for healthcare and medical questions. First, give me an overview of the steps. Now, that's a well-structured request. It prompts ChatGPT to flex its muscle to kickstart your creative imagination. Your new generative AI friend instantly suggests to guide you through the creation of a well-researched presentation with a structured methodology consisting of 5 phases. Phase 1, clarify the purpose and scope. Now, ChatGPT begins with what any good consultant would: define your goal and determine your key questions. These are deceptively simple but powerful steps, and they're often skipped when we're eager to dive into slide creation. Now, the senior advantage here is that these kind of clarifying questions come naturally to us with experience. Phase 2, research guidelines. Now ChatGPT reveals its inner librarian, and it's impressive. It not only suggests the type of resources you need, but it gives you examples of recognized sources. Furthermore, it suggests some key topics that you should include, again, with concrete examples. Phase 3 is about structure and messaging. In this phase, you're going to get to the meat of the presentation, the architecture and the messaging. The suggested structure makes a lot of sense. At least for starters, I'd buy into this right away. Now, the principles that should guide the responsible use of AI, these are the kind of things that your audience should remember or do afterward. That gets us to phase 4, the visual and verbal presentation. Now here, ChatGPT becomes your design coach. It's advocating revolutionary ideas like less text, more visuals. That sounds like another lesson I had to learn the hard way. The script and rehearsal tips, speaker notes or the narration, unless you're very experienced or one of those ghastly presenters who can just open their mouths and pure wisdom pours out. Begin with a compelling opener, like a story, a quote, a question. And remember, it's appropriate humor is always an option for getting the group's attention. Nothing generates group synergy like laughter. ChatGPT dares to suggest that you practice your presentation beforehand. Imagine that. Revolutionary. Up to phase 5, the review and refine phase. This phase is about quality control and delivery polish. Some feedback guidance. First off, share a draft with a mentor, a colleague, or even ChatGPT itself. Even better, share it with a competitor tool like Gemini or Claude or Copilot. Then you revise your presentation for clarity, tone, and depth. This step is the frosting on the cake, or on the cucumber. Who am I to tell you what you should put frosting on? The delivery prep is picking a format for the chosen platform, like PowerPoint, Keynote, PDF, whatever. Ensure accessibility, fonts, contrast, captions. The visible message that's on the screen is the first thing that your audience is going to see even before you open your mouth. So, what does all this mean? This outline is more than just presentation advice. It demonstrates how AI tools like ChatGPT are becoming true thinking partners for us. And the bigger picture is that ChatGPT isn't just giving you tips. It's mirroring the professional, structured thinking of an experienced consultant. This isn't about replacing human wisdom. It's about amplifying it. AI becomes your assistant, one that organizes your thoughts and asks great follow-up questions. Engaging with AI does not require tech skills. It requires the same clear communication and critical thinking that has always served you well. All right, now that we've covered the 5 phases ChatGPT recommended, let's dive into phase 1. This is where the coaching begins. ChatGPT starts by asking, what's the main goal of your presentation? And here's the key shift. Now it's your turn to answer. You'll see some sample options like educating the public or informing professionals, But you can also type your own purpose or just write it in plain English. Don't worry about using fancy words. Just be clear. And if something's unclear or you're not sure what it is, just ask. ChatGPT will give you examples or explain further. It's there to guide you. This step helps the AI give you better suggestions in the next phases, so take a moment and tell it what you're trying to do. Next up, Phase 1 continues with identifying your target audience. Now that ChatGPT knows the goal of your presentation, it wants to understand who you're talking to. Is your audience made up of seniors or students, healthcare professionals? Or maybe it's a mix. Think about their age range, their background, and how much they already know about your topic, especially if it involves AI in healthcare. Are they excited about AI or a little skeptical? Maybe even worried? AI is asking you for these details so it can tailor its advice to fit your audience. And again, if you're not sure how to describe them, just ask for examples. The AI can help you work it out. The more specific you are here, the better the results you'll get in the next steps. Next, ChatGPT helps you narrow your focus. A topic like AI in healthcare is huge, so it asks what areas you want to zoom in on. Do you want to talk about real-life use cases or AI in elder care, or maybe explore risks, like what happens if someone misinterprets the AI results? You can pick from its suggestions or add your own. And if you're not sure, just ask for examples. ChatGPT will guide you here too. At this point, ChatGPT is ready for your answers. It recaps the 3 key questions. What's your goal? Who's your audience? And which focus areas matter most? Of course, your answers can be short for now, but in a real project, you'll want to flesh them out quite a bit more. Here's how I answered ChatGPT's 3 questions. For questions 1 and 2, I said, this is for a class of lifelong learners aged 55 to 98. They're well-educated, a bit intimidated by AI, but also curious and eager to learn about its role in healthcare. And for question 3, about focus areas, I simply told it all of the ones from point 3. Now, since ChatGPT had numbered its list originally, that quick reference works perfectly. Once you've answered these 3 questions, ChatGPT gets to work. It says, well, based on what you just told me, here's how we'll shape your presentation. It outlines the goal, the audience, and the scope, all tailored to your input. And here's the nice part. If something doesn't sound right, you can change it. Just highlight a phrase and click the little quote icon. It drops that text into the chat box, ready for you to revise or refine. ChatGPT will instantly update the content based on your feedback. Kind of like a polite writer who actually listens. With Phase 1 done, ChatGPT moves us into Phase 2, Research and Curate. First, it helps you organize your research into 5 clear buckets, like use cases, risks, benefits, and so on. So your ideas stay focused and structured. Then it guides you in gathering reliable sources, offering trusted names like the Mayo Clinic or the FDA, and even suggesting templates to organize your notes. And as always, it asks, would you like a worksheet? Or should I just start suggesting sources? Your call. The AI adjusts based on how hands-on or hands-off you want to be. I like the worksheet idea, so I just typed, first, provide me with a worksheet. Now that tells ChatGPT to start by giving me something structured, where I can collect my research across all 5 areas before diving into specific sources. Simple prompt, clear result, and a nice way to stay organized. ChatGPT delivered exactly what I asked for, a ready-to-use research worksheet tailored to my topic. It's organized into 5 clear sections, from use cases and benefits to risks, ethics, and practical guidelines. Each section has space for notes, examples, and sources, making it easy to stay organized as I research. And it even asks, do I want this as a Google Doc or a Word file? Or should we jump right into filling it out with the sources? Again, the control stays with me, and ChatGPT is ready either way. I like the worksheet layout, so I just said, "That looks great. Give me a Word document." ChatGPT responded with a download link, and it's ready to go. Then it asks if I'd like to start filling it in, beginning with use cases. That's the beauty of the process. One small step at a time, with the AI right there guiding you through it. At this point, you've got two options. You can fill out the worksheet on your own, or let ChatGPT help you get started. I chose the second route and asked it to fill in section 1 with sources and examples. This gives me a solid head start, and, of course, I can always tweak or replace anything later if I need to. ChatGPT did not disappoint. It delivered section 1 complete with up-to-date examples and credible sources. Each use case is explained in clear, simple language, perfect for my senior audience. From diagnosis tools to chatbots and even elder care wearables, it's all laid out and easy to understand. And if I want to change anything, I can edit or expand it anytime. I also asked ChatGPT to add it to my Word document. When I checked the Word document, I noticed that the source links were missing, so I told ChatGPT, "Your document does not have the links. Please add them." And I asked it to indicate both the name of the source and the clickable link right in the document. That way, everything's properly cited and easy to verify. ChatGPT followed through and added clickable links for all of the sources in section 1. When I checked the links ChatGPT provided, I noticed a problem. Many of them led to missing or outdated pages, so I decided to switch to NotebookLM for the research phase. It's better suited for verifying and managing sources. I let ChatGPT know I'd be back once I have filled out the sections with trusted working links. Then we can move on to the next steps together. Before wrapping up the document for NotebookLM, I asked ChatGPT to continue with section 2, but only fill in the notes, examples, and tips. No sources for now. I used the same approach for the rest of the sections, capturing the key content first and saving source verification for later. Once all of the sections were added, I had a full working draft ready to bring into NotebookLM. I opened the Word document, and honestly, ChatGPT gave me a fantastic head start. It organized everything into clear subtopics with practical examples. The source column is still empty, but that's the next step. Just look at what it came up with. Tools like My Sugar, SUGR, for diabetes and Blue Star for personalized health alerts. This is detailed, useful stuff, even at this early stage. And keep in mind, this is just section 1, how AI is being used today. Imagine the value when all sections are complete and tailored to your presentation needs. Then ChatGPT moved on to section 2, benefits and opportunities. And again, it delivered. From faster diagnosis to reducing doctor workload, it gave me practical, real-world examples. Like how AI can watch over some vital signs around the clock or help doctors spend more time with patients instead of paperwork. These aren't just vague ideas. They're specific, relatable, and easy to explain in a presentation. Section 3 shifts gears and focuses on risks and limitations. And this is a critical one. ChatGPT highlights issues like misdiagnosis or false reassurance. AI tools aren't perfect. If they misread the symptoms, the results could be disastrous. It also covers privacy concerns, bias in training data, and the risk of over-reliance on AI tools. These are serious topics, and they remind us that while AI can help, it must be used with care and strong human oversight. Next up is Section 4, Ethical and Legal Consideration. Here, ChatGPT brings up key issues like transparency, explainability, and informed consent. Can people understand what the AI is doing? Are they even aware it's involved? It also raises questions about accountability and regulations. Who's responsible when something goes wrong? Are the laws keeping up? Important stuff. And it sets the stage for conversations about trust and fairness in healthcare AI. Section 5 wraps it up with guidelines for responsible use. Simple tips like talk to your doctor, know the tool's limits, and avoid sketchy apps. And always ask questions. AI is helpful, but it's no substitute for a real human. It's practical advice people can actually use. And that wraps up step 1. This is where you figure out what your presentation should actually cover. You might go through all these sections and say, I only want a few of these, or, hey, there's a topic missing that I really care about. That's exactly what this phase is for. Shaping the content to fit your goal, your audience, and your voice. Now that you've defined the structure, it's time to dive into research, and that's where NotebookLM and Perplexity come in. But that's for the next video. Stay tuned.